my studio. I make ceramics. Today, I'm gonna show you how I make the very first part of my cell life design when I get my piece out of the kiln, when it's bisqued. You can get these mugs on my website right now. Each mug I make is one of a kind. Each design's different, so I'm going to show you how I start making these pretty designs. Actually, this is the second part. I lied. The first part's painting the dots. So I paint the dots on the inside. Let me see if I have a mug with the glaze and the dots fired to show you. Let me look. Looks like I have just the thing. So that's what it comes out looking like. This is a bee mug with the bees. But the dots are the same. So the porcelain is this. Nope, not the same. This porcelain is Canadian. Tucker's porcelain with sand. This one's frost. And I've never fired this one, so I don't know how it's going to be. But that's how the dots come out. And then I'll show you the second step. So first I form the clay with my hands. I shape it. I make the mug. I let it dry. I fire it in the kiln. I load it. I unload it with all its friends. All its nest buddies, egg buddies, how do you call them? And then I take it out, I put the dots on it, and then then the next step is penciling on the pattern. I like to use a really sharp pencil. And I like this brand right now. Some pencils will leave a mark in the kiln, and I don't want that. I might sometimes, but I don't this time. You can buy pencils specifically to leave a mark. Use a really sharp one. That's my preferred pencil for this technique. This isn't quite sharp enough. Let's see if we can get it just a little sharper. I'm going to move my coffee so I don't enjoy the shavings in my coffee mug. Take a nice sip. That is my second cup of coffee today. It's not as good as the first cup, but it's still doing a good job. I seem to be having some tip irregularities. I want to make sure there's nothing stuck in there. Let's try it again. Looks clear. Not very good. Let's try this one. Not very good either. My goodness. Well, it's better. I'll show you what I do when I don't really like that shape. and I shave it down. This is something I learned when I went to school for architecture, and I took a drawing course there. I kind of snuck in. The course had filled up, but I really wanted to draw more. We also made our own ink tools by carving bits of bamboo, and I still have them, although I don't use them. I remember enjoying how fun that was. Okay, so now that's pretty good. I'm going to put this back together, move it to the side. It sounds nice. Let's do the next step. I'm going to lower my camera just a little bit. I think that's good. Now I'm going to think. I like to turn my piece over in my hands and let my mind just kind of start to get engaged, and I like it when something sparks or sticks. I like it when the piece kind of says, I might like this on me right here or over here. So I like to turn it around and just envision, and also let it call out to me. We're both talking about it together. I think I found my first spot. I first got interested in cells a couple years ago. I was selling my work. I was marketing my work, and I thought, I think I really want to see what things look like under a microscope. And I'm going to use the sales from this marketing table event to buy a microscope, and I did. I think the microscope was like $75 or $72, and I made enough that day to put some money towards the microscope. And then my very first cell piece was not a ceramic piece, but a weaving. And I had a tulip, and I cut it open, I cut the stem, and then I put a sliver under the microscope. And it was beautiful. And then I made a weaving based off of my feelings and interpretation and just what I wanted to do as an artist. The very first weaving I made, and my first cell piece. I did a little mixed media on that one. I think I used some ink and maybe some copper wire I manipulated. It's been a while since I looked at it. Beautiful. I love it. For this particular line, I put my signature on the bottom. Let's keep That's kind of cute. Time to sharpen the pencil again. Also time to have some coffee. Cheers. You're curious about that book behind me. It's a book about dragons. I've been making dragon pieces, I guess, since I was really little. I was always kind of captivated by them. We painted a dragon for my best friend when I was growing up. That's the first dragon I really remember because I took so long. It was a golden dragon and had just landed on some beautiful balcony. And I really took my time with that piece. I like to put dragons on mugs. And then we are now celebrating the year of the dragon. So it's rekindled my love for the scaly, winged, creative beasts. So I just got that book, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago or something now, to try and help me with dragon anatomy so I can make more exquisite and interesting shapes with them twirling around, doing all sorts of things. So I've had it up in my studio. I've been making, I made a couple dragon pieces this time, but I'm just kind of letting it sink in. I'm still looking for a good book. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look at what we have. Ooh, I love that piece. Should we do another kind of big one? Let me think. How about something like that? That's pretty good. Okay. In my live stream the other day, sometimes I have story time and we read books, and we read about this really terrifying worm that lives in like tide pools and underwater, and apparently it's the longest living organism. It's 2 times the length of a whale. I had no idea. And it's unerring when it goes out and strikes its prey. It always hits. It's part of its name. I don't remember the name of the worm right now, but whoa. My goodness. So cute. Maybe just a couple more shapes. Some really lovely little cells flying around. Let me see if I want to add Just a few more moments. Maybe these evolved a little bit. They ate some other cell. They were unerring. Even though they weren't worms. Here's a worm. I had a little thing. Okay. We'll give it some air. Help it swim a little more. The thing that struck me when I looked at that tulip under the microscope was how there was just kind of a lot of cells like this. And then it looked like some watery stuff in it. And I wanted to zoom in closer and closer and get the critters in the water, but I might need something more than a $75 telescope